TG Geeks, episode 298, November the 2nd, 2020. We are the Three Gay Geeks. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona, and I just love it when I can make him hang his head.
Yeah.
To keep from laughing.
Yeah, it's, oh my God, did you really? Yeah,
Did you really say that?
Yep, you really did that. And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from TG Squared Studios, where the rest of the country gained back an hour, while we gained back a whole season because it's autumn again with our 90-plus degree weather here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, let's get on with this.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the Two Gay Geeks are discussing this.
Press the button a little too soon on that.
Yeah, you did. A little trigger happy there.
Yeah. We said we were the Three Gay Geeks. Well, we have Marc Biagi back.
The Three Gay Geeks are back after how many years?
Oh my gosh.
5?
4 or 5, yes.
6?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. But we finally were able to connect with Mark's schedule and get him back on the show. And my gosh, we talked to him for 45 minutes before the episode, and then we talked to him for another half hour after the episode.
Do you know? But the thing that I just realized is that's exactly what we did the first time we talked to him.
Exactly. It was like.
And I think we talked to him like a total of 3 hours.
Yeah.
The first time. And that's, it's stuff before the show, stuff after the show, the stuff during the show.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the kind of.
So this is not a 3-hour show. It's only our regular 1 hour.
3-hour show. A 3-hour show.
Yes. As everybody runs away. We'll talk to Marc Biagi and what he's got going, our birthday shout-outs, our featured podcast of the week, and we have some feedback, as everybody knows. Everybody loves that, I guess, because they keep commenting, so yay!
Yeah?
And I haven't seen a comment from Greg unless you got one.
No, I didn't get one.
Oh, he's losing.
He's losing his. But I will say that I think 90% of the people who leave comments have absolutely no idea that we're going to read them.
Yeah, well, that's probably true too, and that's why we never hear from them again.
Maybe.
And then we have our regular shout-outs, and in the second segment, we have a couple of things that we are potentially going to talk about.
If we have the time.
And then we have our weekly recap and our regular shout-outs. So let's get on with it. And this time, we welcome back the Third Gay Geek,
Yay!
Mr. Marc Biagi.
My God, it's been years.
Actor, voice actor, jack of all trades, or Mark of all trades, shall we say?
Welcome
to the show.
That's clever.
I'm blushing right there.
Mark of all trades. Wow. Yeah. I got to remember that one.
Yeah.
Put your mark on all trades.
It's great to be back, guys.
It's
great to be back.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, and I had such a great time last time we were doing this, and it's fun to be back and celebrating. Hey, 300 episodes. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're going to be 297, and so we just got a couple more until 300. So
I can't believe you're almost there. I mean, that's like that. What a milestone! And what you
actually,
said,
I think it's going to be 298.
Years?
Is it 298?
Yeah, he's going to be 298.
Oh, yeah, 298. Yeah, wow.
298.
Yeah.
Wow, the numerology on that is great.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Did
you do that in your head?
Let me think. I did. It's 19 turns out to be 10, which is 1, reduces down to that, which is primo. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Anyway, so boy, you have just
remember the
done
pride,
so many
Unreducible.
things since the last time we talked. You
Yeah.
Initially we talked to you about Origin. That's how you came to our attention, and also through Neil Halford, and I think that was how we got introduced, and then Origin and all that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because
Origin is still going on, actually. So it's gone through a new phase. Back in those days, for those of you who aren't familiar with the project, Origin Beyond the Impact started as a web series, science fiction web series, and it kind of evolved into a bigger project. And now it's a feature film that's under production, actually multiple feature films, and they'll be on a major streaming platform. Can't say too much about those things yet until we're done. But we are hoping to finish soon. Of course, in this COVID world, it's hard to get certain things accomplished, but we are making progress, and most of the stuff is filmed. We just have certain sequences that need to be filmed for the corporation called Crow. That's the corporate entity that's part of the sort of the evil corporate overlords that are in this story. So, so those scenes are coming up. I'm toward the end of the first movie, but my arc has largely been moved into stuff after that. So I come in toward the end, and there's a lot there. There's a lot of changes from the web series, but a lot of things are the same too. So,
and you're Russian.
I was going to say, how's the Russian
correct?
going?
The Russian is going good. I studied for a while with an actual Russian physicist. I play a physicist in the thing. I met a Russian. I guess I'm a method actor in a way to do this, but I wanted to be more accurate in my pronunciation of Russian and have them be able to write stuff in Cyrillic, because when you write it in English characters, you don't quite say it right.
Right.
So and I didn't know Cyrillic, so he tutored me in Cyrillic and pronunciation. We translated some basic phrases. One of my favorite phrase still is "Teleportiruj меня, Scotty, здесь нет разумной жизни," which means "Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life here." So I wanted to be able to say things that sounded at least decently Russian, and like I wasn't just some guy who was faking a bad Russian accent. So,
right.
And then of course we have Tatiana, who's Jeff, our producer, creator, director, everything guy, and one of the actors in the project as well. His wife Tatiana is Russian.
Yes,
she's from Siberia, and so she will correct me if I get certain things a little bit off, because I'm not. I don't speak Russian. I'm like Abba speaks English. You know? I sing phonetically, but I'm pronouncing phonetically.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because I used to sing in choirs in years past, and I've done. I think two of my favorite languages to sing in are, that are not English, are German and Russian. I love singing in those languages because, for one, they're very easy for me to wrap my head around in terms of the pronunciation. But I remember years ago, at the same time, I was getting my hair cut at this salon, and everybody there was Russian. And so I'm talking to my barber about, because he's asking, and he'd see me, what are you doing now? And so I would share with him. And the barber who's next to me says, so say something. And I said, I don't speak Russian. He said, you just said. And I said, no, I don't speak Russian. I sing Russian. Oh, you must say something. I looked at him and went, "Niet."
Yep, there you go. You spoke some Russian.
There you go.
There you go.
It's true. Well, I could see. Well, you're a big opera buff, so I could see the German, but the Russian, I would have thought Italian or something like that. As another language instead of Russian. So that's interesting.
I've done Italian. I don't like Italian because I tend to sing it too much like Latin.
What?
No, yeah, okay. I mean, I don't mind listening to it.
You just hurt my heart.
I love to listen to it, but I don't like singing it because I find myself lapsing into Latin pronunciations, and it just makes my head hurt. It's for the same reason I cannot sing French. I can speak French, but I cannot sing French for some really weird reason. There's just very bizarre disconnect in my brain. But I love singing Russian. There's just something in those pronunciations that I find ridiculously fascinating. Same thing with German. And you couldn't ask for two more different languages than Russian and German.
Oh, yeah, they're very different. Yeah. And although what's really interesting is Russian has a lot of Latin words in it, so that were incorporated into the language. It's definitely not a Latin derivative, but it has a lot of things that it incorporated over time. So it does make certain things a little bit easier to say. And when you look at, although when you see it spelled, it looks totally different. It's not what you expect. So, the Cyrillic alphabet is quite a bit different. But, I believe it has more similarity to Bulgarian. It comes from those roots and stuff. And, but if you know your Greek alphabet, it makes it a little bit easier to transition into some of the stuff in Cyrillic too. But yeah, it's been great, and I'm looking forward to filming that and getting that really going, and I think that's going to be very exciting, and I can't wait for people to see the new stuff that we're doing. It's all being filmed, and I believe it's being filmed mostly in 8K so that we can sample to 4K. So it's very high definition, much higher definition than we shot originally. So everything that we shot before has been reshot, and there have been some recasts and things like that. And there's some new characters too, some totally new storylines, new characters. So it's very exciting.
That's fascinating. And you've also been continued on with your voice acting career and done lots of stuff like that. I mean, we obviously for 5 years now, we have played your Austin Powers bumper that you did for us. I mean, every single episode because it's so great.
Yeah, once in a blue moon we'll break out the others, but that's the one we keep coming back to.
I've had a lot of fun with voiceover. I'm trying to do more with that part of my career, especially in these times. It's been a lot different in voiceover. They expect you now to, and they're trying to cut back on people going to actually record in studio. So it put a lot more onus on you being even more of a producer at home. Mm-hmm. So they use some technologies called Source Connect and IPDITL. IPDTL, which is like a replacement to ISDN, which is a communication technology that's very antiquated. It was digital over analog lines, and you can't really get it from most providers anymore. But a lot of studios still work with that type of technology, and it'll interface with some of these other types of things. But the idea is for the studio to directly capture, like we're doing now with Skype, but they do it with these technologies and directly track and capture that audio and record that and edit that. So I'm not actually sending them a file. They're capturing the file live.
Wow.
During the session. So yeah, it's a big change. And so there's a lot more of that and that we're having to do these days. And there are, of course, studios that do take proper there's a lot of special COVID protections for the studio operators as well as for the artists performing there that they try to take care of, checking temperatures, disinfection, wearing masks when appropriate, doing all these different types of procedures. Usually when we're in the booth, obviously, there's a definite separation, so it's not like the air is being exchanged directly with people.
Right.
So your masks come off, but usually the engineer will keep their masks on and while they're working and stuff.
Do you bring your own mic cover? Foam mic cover?
No, that would still be there. I mean, I guess if we might get there someday, who knows? But again, they probably wouldn't want to take yours because they don't know what you might have at home. So, it's more of a they have their own disinfection protocols of I don't know exactly what they're doing. I don't have to worry about it at home because nobody else uses my mic but me.
Exactly.
So I haven't really looked at what they're having to do. But I do know that there are protocols in place, just like for filming. There's a lot of special protocols that people are doing and trying to do what they can to be able to keep things moving ahead and be able to shoot again and record again and do all these things. But voiceover is uniquely positioned to be able to continue working. And I've continued to do voice work during this COVID shutdown in California and nation and a lot of the nation as well. A lot of places are still shut down right now. and some are considering going back to a shutdown with cases spiking again. So,
right.
It's definitely a challenging time for any performer. But voiceover is kind of unique in that we're used to using these technologies. Now it's just a couple extra steps in the process, and we can actually produce content and keep things moving. So I've even signed with a few new studios to do some other work and some other projects. So that's exciting. I wish I could say some of the things I just can't talk about, or they're just not that exciting. But there are some things on the horizon that look very cool, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you about those later.
Cool,
but I can't really talk about those now.
That's great.
We can talk about some of the things that you have done. Like recently, you
Sure.
had the enormous pleasure of being in a wonderful vampire short comedy called Things We Dig that was done by another good friend of ours, Pia Thrasher.
That's right.
And of course, you and Pia are old friends, which is probably how
We are.
Well, they're friends, but I guess you could say they're old and.
Well, they're not old. You know what I meant.
No, we're old and we're friends. Yeah. No, actually, I call them. They're my. She and Jen, who plays Lucretia or Lucy, the one of the other vampires in the film. The three of us met years ago, I think in person. We had networked through another production with another friend of yours that you know as well, Neil Halford, who's a local producer, writer, director, and wears a lot of hats guy. Very talented guy. And they were working on another production that I was brought into. And then I know there's still plans to pick that up at some point. Actually, I'm cast in something that he has called Uncharted Regions for an episode that is yet to record as well. That's kind of like a Twilight Zone-ish type of podcast or recording.
It's like old-time radio.
Yeah, it's like old-time radio plays, and they're really fabulous. And he's brought in some great talent for that, and I'm excited to record on that. I've been cast in a project for that in the future. But Pia and Jen and I have known each other for years, and I wasn't originally supposed to be in this. They had already had somebody, and then that person, as things sometimes happen in real life, they had a baby in their life, and the way the film timed out, it didn't work out for the person who was originally cast in the role that I was doing to do it. So about a couple weeks before the shoot, I think she contacted me, and then I did the VO for it as well. So I gave her a VO audition, and she loved that for the commercial part that we have in the film. And then she said, well, I'd like you to play Miles. And I said, wow, that's great. And she sent me the script. I took a look at it, and we played around with some ideas for what we might do with the character. And it was like, I think, about a week or so beforehand, because at first I was just doing the VO part, and then she needed me for Miles, and I think it was about a week before or so, and then before the shoot, and we shot, and it was great. It was so much fun, and I had a fabulous time. It was a great script, fabulous crew, a lot of talented people on both sides of the camera, and we had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun, and the set was amazing. It's just that was built inside of the Mickelson's household by Elsa, who was our set designer. She built that in their living room largely.
Oh my gosh!
Well, there were multiple sets. We used their living room. We used one of the bedrooms. We used outside the door. We used the backyard and the kitchen. So that was our set. Our whole movie was filmed at their house over 3 days.
Wow.
Was it 4? Yeah, and maybe it was 4 days. I think it might have been Friday through Monday. Might have been 3 or 4. I can't remember exactly. I'm getting old, like you guys said.
Well,
but yeah,
I feel that.
Pia wrote this some years back, and it was a hilarious script, and we had a lot of fun, and we're very proud of it. It's been showing at various film festivals right now. We've been selected for many of them. We went up recently to Screamfest LA.
Screamfest, yeah.
Yeah, that one, sadly, normally it would have been in the Man Chinese Theater, which would have been incredible. I mean, all the history there and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But because of COVID, it changed. It was nice to still have a screening, and they did it as a drive-in up in Van Nuys. And we went up as a group, all, appropriately distanced or whatever, in a couple of cars and things like that, and saw the film together. And it was just an amazing experience to see it with all these other films. And we're very proud of it and really glad to have been selected. In fact, today we had another screening in London at the Misty Moon Festival. We were a finalist in that. We didn't win one of the final prizes, but still to be selected out of so many different international films there was quite an honor, and people really enjoyed it. So, you never know with judging which way they're going to go and stuff like that. So, and it's hard when they only have a certain number of prizes and they don't split the genres, because we're definitely a horror comedy.
Right.
And going up against drama or serious horror, it's kind of difficult to compare those two, and when they're really very different types of projects. So it's nice to have those other options. But yeah, we're in a bunch of other festivals. Today we're also screening in New Orleans right before a double feature of Friday the 13th as part of Screamfest NOLA. And then late on Halloween itself, we're going to be online. I don't have all the details, but I think they're online now to buy tickets for Horror House. It's spelled not like house, but like German house, H-A-U-S. So horror, H-A-U-S, I think .com. On the 31st, we're in block 1 of films. I think it goes from 11 to 1 p.m. And then February, we're going to be in the Sick Chick Flicks Festival, which sounds like fun next year. And at the end of this month in Ontario, Canada, we're at the Northern Frights Festival. So there's a lot of different festivals and ones we're still hearing from. So I think there's one in Montreal that we were selected for. Oh, yeah. And one I think that is also on Halloween that's in Transylvania.
Oh, my gosh.
It's an international vampire film festival. And that's just awesome to be part of that.
No
and
kidding.
Done
Wow.
A vampire flick. I wish we could be there in person.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how they're going to screen or if they will. A lot of these things are trying to do things where people will buy tickets so that they can screen it in a secure manner instead of people getting the content for free.
Right.
So, but some of them are doing it securely, but you are getting it for free. So it depends.
Right.
I don't know all the details, but obviously we're selected a lot of places. Very proud to have that happen, and there'll be more. I'm sure we've been submitted to a lot, and a lot of them haven't even announced yet, and they happen next year. So I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that.
Well, I'm really happy for Pia because she's a marvelous filmmaker, and because we met her through Horrible Imaginings in San Diego with her first short film that she did, The Appointment. And from that moment on, I knew, oh my God, I love this gal. She is so incredible.
And she is an incredible artist.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, she is. She's just so super talented. And in so many respects, she's a good actress. She's a good writer. She's a fantastic artist as well. And she's done a great job directing and producing. And I'm just so proud of her for how far she's come as a friend and a fellow talent and someone in the industry. She has a lot of integrity and is just a pleasure to work with as well. I mean, it's fun to work with your friends, but it's even better when your friends are talented and very professional to work with as well.
Yeah, unlike us.
That was exactly what this project
hacks.
was.
Yeah, we're just hacks. When I say,
well, you guys too. You guys are professional. What are you talking about? So, but it makes a big difference to have that kind of experience. So, it's a dream come true to work with your friends in a lot of ways to be able to produce something that's quality. We really believe in this. I think it's very funny. I cracked up a lot. There was a lot of laughs on the set, as you can imagine.
And that shows because one of the things that I really latched onto was your performance. I mean, you did something that, I don't know, maybe not anybody else would find it hilariously funny, but for some reason it just really tickled me to no end. Yeah, and there's Miles with the filming crew, and you put on, holy water like it's aftershave lotion. It was one of the funniest moments I'd ever seen, and it's so memorable to me.
Improv. Thank you. That was an improv. My backstory, I'll give you a little idea of the backstory because it's not in the script. Backstory is something we as artists have to bring to the project usually. And, I talked with the people in the film crew that played the other people in the film crew. And we kind of decided that we were all like film school students, and Miles was kind of leading this. He had some extra money and he was older because it's like a change of life type of thing. And he's really crass, pretty much living out of his parents' basement. And it was either doing porn or doing this. And he chose to do this instead, which is a wise decision in some respects and also very terrible in others. But there was a crassness to his kind of character. We figured he thought he was a much bigger fish in a pond than he was. Probably did great at film school, but he hasn't really done anything real yet. Right. So that was the backstory I came in with the character, and I think it worked pretty well for the environment. And kind of the type of budget that they probably had
exactly
to put the spot together, the vampire ladies. But there's some other things I don't want to say. I give away too many surprises, but there were improvisations going on by a lot of us. The whole bit of selfies with the Scott character was something that actor brought in. And it became part of the film. It was hilarious watching him take selfies as we're trying to do the serious stuff, or horrible things are happening in front of us, and here he is taking a selfie.
He's just in his own world.
He really was, and I think we've all seen people who are like that.
He's a wannabe Instagram influencer.
Oh God!
Oh hell yes! And Patrick was hilarious doing all that stuff, and. So we had a really good time filming it, and I'm really glad it's done so well.
It's a wonderful short film, and I'm thrilled that it's being so widely received.
Yes,
I can't tell you how much fun I had watching it, and the idea that everybody's kind of bringing their own little improvisational madness to the table, and yet it all comes together perfectly. It was really well scripted too, so I have to say that. I don't want to say that everything was improv, because it certainly wasn't. The framework was very solid that Pia had in the structure of the script, and so it was very easy to sort of yes and, as we say in improv, add a little bit to it on a character side and make those things be a little bit, flesh the scene out a little bit more. You make these discoveries as you're going along. And it really makes the project better. And thank you so much. We're so glad you enjoyed it, and I really appreciated the nice review you wrote up about us. Thank you.
It was fantastic to read it and know that people enjoyed watching it as much as we did making it. I just enjoyed watching it again today. So it's still, there are parts of it that still crack me up.
Yep.
So my God, as with all things, I hate to cut this, but. Because we could talk to you for hours, and it's something that we have done, like we did last time. Well, heck,
that was 2 hours we did.
Well, and then before we actually hit the record button,
and we've been talking. We talked for 40 minutes before we did this interview. So.
Well, we got some of the personal things of catching up out of the way that you don't always want on the air and that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
you can't say that.
You can't say on the Disney ship.
No.
Stuff like that. But my God, Marc, you're always such a joy to talk to.
Thank you too.
Oh man, and we miss you so much. And God, I can't wait for this great pause to be up so that we can make another trip to San Diego and catch up with you and Eddie. Because God, last time the four of us got together.
Love to see you.
Oh, it was. We had so much fun getting together and just drinking and eating.
It was great.
Oh, it was so much fun.
I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, really. In the meantime. And I highly recommend all of our listeners, to follow your career, because you're a delight. What can I say? So how can people do that? How can they learn more about what you're doing?
Probably Probably the best place to start would be my website, which is Marc Biagi, my name, MarcBiagi.com. I have links to some of my other platforms there. My Facebook page, which honestly I'm trying to do a lot more with, so it's going to be pushed a lot in the very near future here. By the time your listeners start listening to this, there will already be some new content up there, I'm hoping. Listen to me. And then I've been putting out some YouTube content. I definitely plan to produce some original content in the near future. So taking a look at those channels are probably the best place to be. I might do something with Discord or Twitch in the future, but I'm not sure yet. So, but if I do, I will announce all those things through my main website. Right now, it's in a transition phase. I'm doing some other reprep and reworking of things, as we all do, because usually, those are the last things we have time to do is fix those types of things for ourselves. But I am working on that and hope to launch something new, and then I'll be a better channel for that type of stuff going forward. So
super. And this has been a real treat. Thank you so much for being on our show.
And thank you for having me back. It's great to be with you guys again, and I look forward to another time. And I know we're not quite to 300 yet, but happy 300.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Marc Biagi, and you're listening to TG Geeks Webcast. Get your geek on.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that in years.
Yeah, we've been hanging on to that one.
Oh, just for this occasion.
Just for this occasion, yeah. Mark did so many little bumpers for us.
Yeah, that's why the post-interview segment lasted so long.
Oh, my gosh. He's so much fun to talk to.
Oh,
I mean, just exciting and, effervescent and ebullient and all of those lovely...
Pretentious words?
Pretentious words. There we go.
Okay.
For us pretentious peoples. Here's a few selected birthdays for November the 2nd through November the 8th, 2020. I love whenever it's the tooth.
Yeah, the tooth. The tooth. Remember the tooth.
November the 2nd, Sidney Luft, director, producer, husband of Judy Garland and father of Lorna and Joey Luft. Ray Walston.
Boothby,
yes. We've been on our kick of watching Star Trek Voyager, and Boothby has 3 episodes in Voyager, I think. And
it's only 3 episodes in Voyager. He gets 2 mentions in Next Generation plus 1 appearance, and he's
one of the most memorable.
He really
characters.
is.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and that's a credit to the ability of Ray Walston.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, I think most people our age and older will always think of him as Uncle Martin from My Favorite Martian.
And
you go older than
Yankees.
Go older than that, and then you think Dan Yankees as Mr. Applegate.
Yep, and he's been known. He's kind of known for his rather clipped delivery. It's just a boom, boom, boom clipped delivery that he has. That makes it memorable. And then we have some friends of ours, Mr. Brian Augusta.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday, Brian. And a former classmate of mine, Jeremy Reisenhoover, who sadly passed away in August from cancer. And
it was such a joy meeting him for your class reunion.
Yeah. I've known Jeremy since 2nd grade.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was so excited to see us when we showed up at his house.
Yep. And November 3rd, Vincenzo Bellini, composer. He composed Norma. And it takes a diva to sing Casta Diva properly, that's for sure. He also wrote I Puritani and actually died at the age of 33.
No kidding.
Yeah, rather young guy. And then Jim Cummings, voiceover actor. Winnie the Pooh. He plays or voices Winnie the Pooh and Tigger as 2. Ha ha ha. Did you catch that? Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2?
Oh.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Moving right along.
And he was Ray in Princess and the Frog. He did a great job. Cajun accent.
Loved him as Ray.
And many, 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 many other things as voiceover. And actually, in the Jungle Book TV series, the family of the late Louis Prima, who voiced King Louis in the Jungle Book, sued Disney because he did too good a job.
No, really?
Yes.
Well, that's a bit stiff.
Yeah, they said he sounded too much like Dad.
That's a bit stiff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then we have Charles Bronson, actor who was born as Charles Buczynski. He changed his name to Bronson after somebody told him that nobody would hire him as Buczynski. And part of that may have been in relation to the Red Scare. I did see some trivia that he had changed his name primarily because of the Red Scare. And he was Lithuanian, and he spoke Russian fluently.
And he was scary.
Yeah,
there's a great
exactly.
story where his first wife, I don't remember her name, she passed away a long time ago, but she was an actress, and she appeared on an episode of the original series of Star Trek. It was This Side of Paradise, and that's the episode with all the spores and everything, and Spock falls in love with this woman, and that woman was Charles Bronson's wife. And Leonard tells stories about how Bronson was on the set. And Nimoy found him quite terrifying, especially when they had kissing scenes.
I'm sure. Well, and he also chose the name Bronson from the Paramount lot Bronson Gate.
The Bronson Gate.
Yeah. So that's kind of a little story that they always tell on the
And he
backstage
became
tour.
quite the fixture in the Death Wish movies, revenge films, I guess is what you would call them.
Yep. And then we have Facebook friend Lazarus Mitchell and our realtor Jan Dahl that showed us our lovely home that we live in. November 4th, we have... Whoops. What did I do? Oh, I just mislabeled my script here. November 4th, we have Ralph Macchio.
Celebrating his 18th birthday again.
Yeah, actor, Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. He has children that are 24 and 28 years old.
I know. And the guy does not age.
I know.
I'm sure he's doing some kind of unholy ritual where people stand in a circle chanting while wearing robes.
Exactly. Then we have Will Rogers, humorist, actor, one of Oklahoma's favorite sons. He was born in 1879 to a Cherokee family in Indian Territory near Oologah, Oklahoma, in Rogers County, which is just close to Claremore, which they claimed him as their his place of birth and place that he's laid to rest and all that kind of neat stuff.
There's some kind of museum dedicated to him in Southern
the
Cal,
Will Rogers,
correct?
Yes, Will Rogers Museum in Claremore, and then also the Will Rogers State Park in Los Angeles, where a friend of ours, Larry Nemechek, is a docent there. And Will made over 70 films.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
Died tragically in a plane crash that also killed Wiley Post. In Alaska, they were doing some... Will would take his typewriter and he would do his articles as Wiley would fly up the coast. And they left Washington and crashed in Alaska.
What tragedy.
Yep. And then another piece of colorful Oklahoma history. This one is, oh my God, Nanny Doss. If you look her up, she the colorful part is that color would be red because she was a serial killer.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes known as the Giggling Granny. She killed 11 people, mostly her family.
Oh, that is creepy.
Yeah. So look her up, Nanny Doss. Look her up on Wikipedia. It's like, holy crap.
I don't know. I'm stuck on Giggling Granny. There's just something very disturbing about that.
Exactly. And then we have Darren Haagen, who is the composer of, was it Shining Brow or was it
Good
Fellow
heavens.
Travelers? No, it was Shining Brow.
Shining Brow, I think.
Shining Brow, yep. It was the opera about Frank Lloyd Wright. Yep, and we met him, and he's a real nice guy. Mm-hmm. November 5th, Sam Rockwell, actor, crazy man.
He is.
Galaxy Quest was one of the crazier roles. I mean, he's just off kilter.
He really is, but the guy is a very good dramatic actor as well, as evidenced by some more serious films like Frost and Nixon, or was it Nixon and Frost, whichever. The movie about the David Frost interviews with Richard Nixon, and Sam plays a journalist in that. I mean, it's it's a very strong role, and the guy is a very good actor.
Yep. And then we have Tilda Swinton.
Oh, I adore her.
She chews up the scenery and everything she's
Doesn't matter
in.
what she's in.
It doesn't matter. Dead don't die.
Oh, yeah.
She really chews up the scenery in that
She
one.
steals that film from everybody, and there are so many other brilliant performances in that. But she is hilarious in it.
We have repeatedly talked about that film. We rewatched it again. It's like, I love that film.
It is
I
love
so
that movie.
Bizarre.
I really do. I love that movie so much, and Tilda is just crazy. She's so crazy good in that.
She's almost a non sequitur.
Yeah,
Everything concerning her is
just
kind of a non sequitur.
It's all that's not far from the truth, but it's a credit again to her acting. She's amazing. I mean, I remember when it was announced that she was going to be playing the Ancient One in Doctor Strange, and initially I had some reservations, like most people did. But after I saw the movie, I thought she was actually the best thing in the movie,
Yep.
and I mean by huge leaps. She was so good in that.
Yeah. And then we have Art Garfunkel of Simon and Garfunkel, an out gay man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
For years.
I did not know that he was
oh
out
my
gay.
God.
No, I didn't know.
Since the 60s.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just know him as part of Simon and Garfunkel.
Yep. We actually saw Simon and Garfunkel quite a few years ago in the nosebleed seats.
During one of the last reunion tour.
Yeah. And then Armin Shimmerman, actor, most commonly known as Quark from Deep Space Nine. And then we have friends of ours, Tiffany Mangan and Jake Biondi. And Jake is what, the Boys of Chicago, or what is it?
Boytown.
Boytown, yeah. Author, I mean, he's on novel 307 now, is it?
He basically writes gay soap operas.
Yeah. And
that's really it.
He releases one a month or something like that.
I know,
I mean, it's
and
just
they
like,
are,
wow.
I mean, these are trashy, and I really mean trashy gay soap operas.
In the purest sense of trashy, good sense. You know?
Yes, of course.
November 6th, Sally Field, actress.
You love me. You really love me.
What can you say but brilliant?
Oh, I love her.
Started out as Gidget, and that show got canceled, but it was The Flying Nun.
That made her name, I think.
Oh, my God. And then she has a son, Sam, who is out openly gay, very supportive of him and the community. I just love Sally Field.
I do, too.
She is so capable of the melodrama. I mean, you look at Soap or Soap Dish.
Soap Dish.
Oh my
God, I love that movie.
It's like
she's hilarious in it.
Well, there are some other things that she's just hilarious in, but Soap Dish is just over the top.
It shows that she can do both very strong dramatic and also over the top comedy.
Yep.
She's brilliant in that film.
Yep. Then Jonathan Harris.
Oh,
actor,
the pain.
Dr. Smith, the pain. He has done tons of voiceover work, including Lucifer in original BSG.
That's right.
Battlestar Galactica.
He was a Cylon.
He would sit up at night thinking of insults for the robot.
Yeah, because they were improvised. They were not scripted.
Every one of them. And then he actually had a degree in pharmacology.
No kidding.
Yeah. And then we have John Philip Sousa, military band composer. He wrote a theme song for all of the various branches of service at the time. And then Facebook friend Andrew Cash, who is special effects and a director and producer on a number of different TV shows. November 7th, Marie Curie, physicist, co-discoverer of radium. Amazon movie called Radioactive that Andrea reviewed, which we need to watch.
Yeah, we do.
Talking about the Curies and the things that they did.
She changed the world of science on so many levels.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, the discovery of radioactive material, as well as a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
She broke that ceiling.
Well, she got a Nobel co-award with her husband and one other because she couldn't get it.
She couldn't win it on her own.
Yeah.
But still,
because she was a woman.
I mean,
at
history
that
looks
time,
back
yeah.
on her now
Absolutely.
and praises her. I mean, she was very reckless with the rating, but they didn't know any better.
didn't know
They had
anything about
no
it.
idea what they were
Exactly.
really dealing with. But at the same time, she totally revolutionized science.
Yep. And their home where they lived is still cordoned off and
Yeah.
extremely radioactive. And her papers, even her research papers, are radiated so badly that they are by appointment only for short periods of time. You
Amazing.
can only look like for 3 hours every month or something
That's
crazy like
I mean,
that.
that is
you know.
intense.
It's just unbelievable. And then we have Joan Sutherland, opera singer, prima donna, true prima donna.
Wow.
I'm telling you. And then a friend of ours, Keith Byron. Happy birthday, Keith, who's in the process of building a home with his husband, Doug, and his mother.
Forgot where they moved.
Up to Indiana.
Is that it?
Yep, to be near his brother.
Ah.
And then November 8th, Alfre Woodard, actress from Scrooged, Star Trek First Contact.
Oh my God,
Luke
First
Cage,
Contact. She's amazing. Yeah,
among others.
You just put her on the screen and she's going to be great. I remember hearing an interview with Jonathan Frakes, and there's this one scene in First Contact between Alfre and Patrick Stewart. And that's when she's trying to convince him to blow up the ship. And Frakes said all he had to do was just sit back in the director's seat, turn the camera on, and let them go.
Yeah, well, Frakes considers her his godmother.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she was born in Tulsa.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
She graduated from Bishop Kelly in high school in Tulsa.
Well, if you ever interview her, then there's something that you two can talk about.
Exactly. Edmund Halley, the second astronomer royal of Britain in 1720, predicted the periodicity of Halley's comet, which was named after him in 1758 when it indeed did show back up. But he was not alive to see that, obviously. But that's his most famous thing, I think. And then we have Bram Stoker, Irish author, best known during his lifetime as the personal assistant of Sir Henry Irving, the owner of the Lyceum Theatre. But
that's not what I remember him
big
for.
Claim to fame after he's dead is
Dracula.
The book Dracula, which is a tome. It's a tome.
It is. I've seen it.
It's
I have seen the book. It
huge.
is. It's.
It's like Frankenstein.
It
The
is.
two of those books in paperback form were like 700 pages.
Yeah.
They were just
outrageously
ridiculous.
Outrageously huge.
Yep. And then we have somebody I didn't put on, the Hermann Rorschach, a Swiss psychiatrist who developed the Rorschach test. It was his background in art and painting that helped him design the ink blots that
What do you
he
see?
used. Yeah,
What's the first thing you see?
Exactly, to diagnose certain personality types, etc., etc. And then we have Summer Diane Sellers.
Mrs. Summers.
Miss Summers, our niece. Happy birthday,
Actually, she
Summers.
likes to be called Mrs. Summers now.
Mrs. Summers,
Yeah.
yes. And then Alexander James Adams. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
And now it's time for our feedback. And each of the articles that this feedback segment generated, these articles will be featured in the show notes for this episode at tggeeks.com, starting with regarding Just for Laughs chooses Tribes as the funniest short film from around the world. Got a comment from Cheek Art Public Relations. They were the ones who turned us on to the short film, and it really is delightful.
It is.
They said, thank you, TG Geeks, for the great article. And then we got a comment from Nino Aldi. He is the man behind that incredibly brilliant film. And he says, thanks so much. And we just have to say thank you, Nino, for doing it.
Exactly.
Then, regarding Ben's gay breakdown, for a strong gay police story, look no further than 0 Hour. This is a trilogy book review that I did last week or so. Got a comment from the author, Amy Nicole Walker. She left this for me on Twitter. She says, thank you so much. Then, moving on, regarding Hamish Downey's 5 Questions with Josh Stifter, got a comment from Josh on Twitter, and he said, I was sent a few questions from Hamish Downey about filmmaking, Rebel Without a Crew, and animation. Check them out. Then got a comment from Zachary Wheeler regarding TG Geeks number 296. This was also from on Twitter. He said, had a recent chat with 2 of my favorite podcasters, Ben and Keith of TG Geeks, about the latest Max and the Multiverse short, among other nerdy things. Can't think of a better way to start the week. Cheers. And then we close it off. This is just a general comment that was sent to me from David Wagner, who we've interviewed. He is involved with Origin Beyond the Impact, as was Marc Biagi, who we spoke to earlier. And he writes, thank you, both Ben and Keith, both for your support and encouragement regarding Beyond the Impact to this point. Having to say goodbye to the project. I hope the project succeeds and that you'll continue to support it. I will always be a fan of TG Geeks. Thank you for interviewing Travis and I. I hope that we can remain internet friends, though depending on what you've heard about this, if anything, you'll no doubt keep distance like everyone else is doing. Sheesh, what a year. My best to you both and everything you do. Take care. Well, thank you, David. That was awfully kind of you. And yes, I intend for us to continue to be friends.
Absolutely.
And that's our feedback.
And you can leave a comment if you would like to. You can do that on our Facebook page, on Twitter, Instagram, or any of the other places that you find, or directly on tggeeks.com, whether it's on an episode or an article. We also have a listener feedback line if you want to leave us a voicemail message, and we'll play that on air. You can leave us a message at 469-TG-Geeks. That is 469-844-3357. And please play nice. As everybody knows, we're huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's comic book artists, filmmakers, writers, others. Please support them right now. Go to their Facebook page, their Etsy pages, their web pages, their any place that you can find them. Talk about their stuff. Talk to other people about their stuff. Buy their stuff. Please support independent creators. Joshua Tree Feeding Program is a nonprofit food pantry for the HIV and AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal counties. They could use your help right now, and you could be supportive of them by going to jtfp.org and giving a single gift or a monthly recurring gift. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Well, this is our second segment, and we're going to rush through a couple of things that we talked about. Oh, my gosh.
Hurry.
I didn't realize we were running out of time here. We want to say that in memoriam, Sean Connery has died.
Yeah, I'm saddened.
At the age of 90.
He was 90. I mean, what am I going to expect? Well, for him to keep going?
Exactly.
And yet, I feel like a part of my life is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as shocking as like when David Bowie died. I mean, that was horrid. You know, Sean was 90. He left us a great catalog, but yeah, I guess it's just the passing of time.
Yep. And there was one thing that you had...
Well, I was one of the things that I talked about is... we just finished watching our third episode of Star Trek Discovery, and I've got an article that I'm going to be writing for later this week, but kind of wanted your quick little thoughts. 3 episodes in, what do you think so far?
Oh, my God. It's incredible. I said it kind of in the first third, the first act, it was like, now this feels like Star Trek.
Didn't it, though?
Again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. And I'm going to expound on that later in my article, but I think you're absolutely right on that.
Yep. And then we continue on our Star Trek Discovery and Grim watching.
I mean, Voyager watching.
Voyager. What did I say?
You said Discovery.
Sorry.
He's like, we're not
we're going to continue on our Star Trek Discovery watching.
Yeah, we're not doing a Discovery rewatch yet.
Star Trek Voyager and Grim. And then we're on to something else. So.
No idea. Maybe Babylon 5.
Who knows?
And this is our time where we give a weekly rundown of everything that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com, and each of the links for these items will be in the show notes for this episode at tggeeks.com, starting with Sunday, October 25th, Nerdy Chupacabras number 19. Also, Gaga Ulala. Wow. That acquires Hamish Downey's Silence for Halloween release. You need to check that press release out. On Monday, the 26th, TG Geeks episode number 297. On Tuesday, the 27th, Andrea's Angle, Hellstrom, Delightfully Dark. On Wednesday, the 28th, Andrea's Angle again, Stunning Special Effects and Acting Makeup, The Witches. And then on October 29th, Andrea's Angle.
Hey.
Come play.
I can't thank Andrea enough for covering us this week.
Yeah. Andrew's Angle, Come Play. It's a brand new movie. Tells the haunting story of a mother's love. And yes, I want to reinforce that. Andrea, you were a rock star this week. God bless you. You were fantastic.
Thank you.
And then on Friday, October 30th, Hamish Downey's 5 Questions with Norm Yip.
Oh, my gosh. Look at this article. And
it's really good.
Go and look at his art. The mixed media is...
It's amazing.
Amazing, but his photography is just stunning.
He's a brilliant photographer.
Just stunning.
So please take a look at that article. And then on Saturday, October 31st, Sammy's Haunted Podcast by This Got Made, episodes number 1 and 2. And that is what we ran on our website at tggeeks.com.
If you haven't checked out This Got Made or any of those, please do.
Yeah. Check out the Carlton Tetleys. They're wonderful.
Al and Michelle do a fabulous job with that. You can check all of that out at tggeeks.com.
Have to give some shout outs. First to the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News for publishing our content from time to time. It is put up by the human Arkle, Brian Weber. You can find the Post Dispatch News by finding him on Twitter. Do that by searching for Arkle at ARKLE. And you can also look for Arkle Studios on YouTube, youtube.com/Arkle Studios. Brian has a number of projects, his Shameless Cash Grab series, his Rants vs. Zombies series, and his game videos of Trick and Treat, as well as Star Trek Online.
And I just have to say, I don't know whether Mark said it in the interview, but he has done a lot of voiceover for Star Trek Online.
That's
and
true.
He was the president of the Federation.
That is true.
Arkle.
We must also give some shout outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant articles on their pages. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. Big thanks to the moderators for literally saying we could share away our content. The URL is facebook.com/groups/Gay Geeks After Hours. And then to The Gay Geek for all of the same. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. And as always, we must give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And we can be found on Spotify, TuneIn, and Stitcher, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Krypton Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays, and listen to their other content. They're a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can surf the internet and as well as listen to our episode. And that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We're going to have several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. And you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay home, stay safe, and stay sane. Peace.
Cheers.